and ain't no wannabes here. With some not so nice advice for your writing career. To be clear, no punches will be pulled, but the punch may be spiked. How they like before they get on the mic. To my left, we got the mighty Mur Lafferty. And if I piss her off, believe me, she'll come after me. And her co-host Ursula Vernon on the right. Yeah, she's burning to recite a slime mold speech tonight. So settle in, folks, buckle in and boot up. Time to meddle in a way to make your writer shut up. It's hard work, but the perk is that it's fun and exciting. Facebook will still be there when you're done writing. Ditch Diggers! Ditch Diggers!
Coming to you live from the Someone is Wrong on the Internet room of the Ditch Diggers Manor, it is the Ditch Diggers, Mur Lafferty and Ursula Vernon, a.k.a. T. Kingfisher. What you doing, Ursula?
Wrong on the Internet. I'm fighting with okay, it's not quite a fight. We are pleasantly bringing things to one another's attention in a pointed way.
Pleasantly? Wow.
I haven't said fuck yet.
Well, good for you. Proud of you. Awesome. But yes, we are the Ditch Diggers. We are working writers who have to work whether we like it or not, whether we're inspired or not, whether we have contracts or not, in my case. So we talk about the other side of writing, the business, the non-craft, the non-art, the stuff that a lot of writers like to hold their nose and deny exist. So that's what we bring to the table.
Or I think that a lot of writers don't know exist until they land in it and then are like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now.
Yeah. I'm just decided that I should do the advance talk about once a year now, because someone hasn't heard it. So I need to bring it up, how advances work.
Oh, yeah. And oh God, I saw one the other day that was like, my soul briefly left my body. Someone using ChatGPT to vet their publishing contract.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, honey, no. You don't
need an agent. There's ChatGPT out there. Yeah, ChatGPT is going to call your editor and say, excuse me, we're going to need these things out of the contract now. Yeah, they're going to do a good job at that.
Or, call your editor and be like, writer is very upset about this cover.
Mm-hmm.
And does not have cover veto in the contract. But now that you've seen it, I think you would like to agree to hear their concerns, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's terrifying. Do not use large language models, aka AI, to do anything really. It's just don't. Just remember, always remember, it's a program written by guys who don't like to admit they're wrong, and it shows.
And all it is autocorrect. It will tell you the most common things that follows. So if ChatGPT sees a clause that is most often in the news because people sue over it, it will tell you that all sorts of things.
Most contracts have this.
Yes. Cite completely made up case law, as many lawyers have found.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I can't believe anybody has, of course I can believe it. I don't know why I'm so naive to think that, that people with high degrees would not want to cut corners. No, they do. We all do.
Yeah.
You just got to know which ones to cut.
This is why a good and sensible attorney lives and dies by their paralegals and will freely admit they are the power behind the throne, essentially.
Yes.
Anyway,
what are you up to, Ursula? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I finished a book yesterday.
Woo!
I had been working on it for months, and I can't tell anyone anything about it, but sooner or later I'll be able to announce it.
I think we need to have a party
and
on the stream when you announce.
yes, and it was one of those things where it was like, this book is going to be finished now, and so I wound up writing 9,000 words this last week, and including the weekend, which I don't usually work too much, and just hammered it out.
Yeah.
And so I get to take today off.
Congrats. Well, thanks for coming to be here with us.
Oh, yes, of course. You're not work, Mur. You're, I don't know, something.
Okay. Also, recently in the news was the Golden Globe Awards, when they gave out their first podcast Golden Globe Award, and we were snubbed. So I don't feel good about that.
No. But on the other hand, would we have wanted to get dressed up?
Yes.
Okay, then.
I like dressing up when there's one or two times a year to do it.
Fair.
Fair. I don't like everyday things. I don't like everyday dress up. I'm currently wearing overalls, for God's sake. But dressing up for one or two things, it's fun. But anyway, yes, we were snubbed by the Golden Globes.
Little things are important.
Yes. They catch in your teeth, man.
Yep.
Speaking of getting dressed up and the time of year I usually get dressed up, which is during Worldcon for the Hugos, and Worldcon being a convention, we're going to segue into the convention season, which for me starts in a couple of weeks.
A tortured segue, but I'll allow it.
Yeah, I just figured it was there, so I'd grab it. It's,
But I don't have anything I have to dress up for a bit. My first convention's not till March is when stuff starts to get busy.
Okay. Well, actually, let's talk about that. Going between ball gown and overalls, we're going to be talking about conventions, and when you're an established writer, how your role switches in conventions. And one of the things that I'm always thinking about is your physical appearance. I know that.
Yes.
I know of at least two people. Actually, they're the pod mother and pod father of this podcast, Gail Carragher and Howard Taylor, and both of them have very clear convention personas and clothing that they wear at conventions. And
I have the hat.
And you have a hat. Tell us about the hat.
It is Indiana Jones fedora, but it doesn't. It's really a trilby kind of fedora. The Indiana Jones hat, which is technically a fedora, but I get annoyed when it's classed under that because I don't want to be standing with those people.
No, it's not a trilby.
No, it's the hat from Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade, and I wear it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes with a little kingfisher pin on it, usually.
And do you find that people notice you more often or not? Because I know at one Worldcon, after you'd won a Hugo, you were baffled the next day when people were congratulating you because you weren't wearing the hat.
Yes, because I am face blind. I assume that hats are magic, and if I am wearing the hat, people can tell who I am because they know the hat. But if I take the hat off, how could anyone know who I am? How could they recognize me? The fact that other people can recognize people's faces, sometimes who they have only met once, is astounding to me. A nice woman recognized me in the airport, last month, I think. She was all, I've come to 2 of your signings. I'm like, wow, that is amazing. And you recognized me.
And I totally remember you.
I didn't pretend to do that.
Okay, good. Yeah.
But we did have arcs of snake eaters. So on the way back through, Kevin had set one aside and she was working. So we stopped by and gave her one.
That was nice of you.
No one ever recognizes me in airports or the grocery store. I am not that big a name. So it was so mind-boggling. Also, Albuquerque Sunport, very small airport. As I was just telling Mur, overnight parking costs $5 a day. So yeah.
I think I always think that other people's cities are more impressive than Raleigh/Durham. And so when I find out that our airport is larger or has more international flights or whatever, I'm always surprised.
You have 2 terminals.
I know. I know. So yeah, my first convention of the year is going to be Confusion up in Detroit, Michigan, and I'm very excited about it because this was one of my favorite ones before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and then I think they started up again, but they didn't invite me, and so I kind of didn't have it on my radar. And then this year, I know the GOH, and I know the person doing some of the programming, and so I was able to get back on, and I'm excited. I've got a lot of stuff to do, and it should be fun. One thing that's awesome about Confusion is it's in the Midwest, and many very beloved science fiction writers live in the Midwest. So it's like the home con for Cameron Hurley and John Scalzi and Tobias Buckell, and a lot of other people. I don't know. I know John's going. I don't know about Cameron. I should probably ask. But yeah, it's a good small con with a surprising number of bigger named science fiction people. So
Yeah. Like we have Bubonicon and Mile High Con, where all the writers who live in the Southwest show up.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Like little names like what? Daniel Abraham, Connie Willis.
George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Rebecca Roanhorse.
Yes. So you are not any of those people. You are someone who's had maybe 1 or 2 books out, or maybe your first book's coming out soon. But you're approaching the convention as now you're a professional, and no one can tell you you're not. So how do you approach it differently?
As a professional rather than a fan?
Yeah. Or even, I tell people it's that old dress for the job you want, or well, when you're at a convention, you want to act like the job you want, not lie to people, but don't be so fanish, but talk to people as if that job you have is one that I want, and I want information about it and stuff like that.
The problem here is that I did not go to science fiction cons before I was a professional.
That's right. You did all the furry cons, didn't you?
I did furry cons, and I was selling art essentially behind the table. So I was a dealer a long time before it took me years to stop having a clause in my contract being for guest of honor invites that I got a dealer's table. It was like I don't know, probably a decade ago now. And they were like, "Well, put your stuff in the art show; it'll be fine. This way, you don't have to worry about it." And I'm like, "Well, okay." And I was like, "My God, this is amazing."
So, for you then? How did things change when you had to stop being behind the table the whole time?
I didn't have to check like 5 suitcases. 2 things. The first was, I suppose, that there's a lot of psychological protection in having a table. You have a place to be. You are not wandering around at loose ends. You are not standing in a corner because you don't know anybody. If you don't know what to do, you're at the table.
Right.
And people come to you. And conversely, people will know where you are and will come to you. So it was a little bit like losing a security blanket in some ways.
Wow.
I was like, but you're having me here just to talk, not to sell people stuff. And there was a sort of weird shuffling point where I was no longer an artist who wrote books. I was a writer who occasionally drew things. And that was kind of the tipping point over, I suppose, where I am not here to make money on the spot. I am here to interact with people and trust that eventually it will either be financially worthwhile, or I will have fun, or I will get, it will be interesting, or I will get to see someplace I haven't been. I was a very mercenary artist because that was how I kept from starving in a ditch next to Walmart, and I didn't know you then, so you couldn't drag me to the ditch next to Target.
Exactly.
Although fuck Target now, I would like to be in the ditch next to Costco.
All right, that ditch is a little farther away, but then so are you. So I don't know if I'm on the ditch duty now. I mean, I'll come to Albuquerque if I have to. You know I will, but
I appreciate
it's going to take a while.
You're a good friend.
It'll take a while just to get there. But
how did it change for you?
Mine was a little weird too, because I worked at a computer game company and managed to somehow get on Dragon Con programming back when they didn't care as much who was on Dragon Con programming. And so I would get on panels about video games, but it still was not, nobody would recognize me or come to something because I was doing it. That's the weird thing of knowing somebody's at your panel because you're there. Usually that's not the case for me. And so I don't have that huge performance anxiety or ego boost. But when
I come to your panels because you're there, Mur.
I know. Thank you. You are a good friend. You're a Costco ditch friend. Anyway, it's actually having something to present, doing readings. It is the lack of security blanket, sure. I've had a couple of really bad experiences doing readings, and now I pretty much hate them. And I need to have a ringer in the audience for me, because I freeze when I'm up there and somebody says something that is, in hindsight, I'm like, oh wow, that was really rude, wasn't it? Oh crap, I let them say that. But
remember, anyone in the audience, your reading is not a critique session.
Yep.
You don't have to take questions, or if somebody says, are you open to critique, you can just say no.
Yes, that's where I freeze and don't say no, or at least I have in the past. Now I'm going to.
Yeah, because it's not the polite thing to do, that we are not socialized to, and we're also, as writers, supposed to be all about critique because it makes our work better. Isn't that the thing we want the most?
Yeah, the critiques I had on the book that was already sold, that was a bad year. And that was the book that got the award nomination, so just fuck those guys. But anyway, I think what's important is having somebody there with you. And I don't think I would not have thought to bring this up, but since we're end up talking about the actual vulnerability people feel as panelists, having somebody with you when you're there, either another pro or your plus one, is important, because having somebody if you sit down next to them, there's not going to be a, hey, should I know you? Or I don't like your books, or I don't know. Just you won't have to be on. That's really what it is. When you're at a convention, you're on and you're busy and you're public facing. And for introverts, that's hell. And for extroverts, that still gets tiring.
I was at the last con I was at, LostCon, a gentleman who has known me since the long ago days of selling furry art, Lex Nakashima, great guy, makes amazing fursuits and costumes and whatnot, and lots of like big costumes for plays, monsters and whatnot. And he was like, how are you doing this? Because when we first met, you like didn't make eye contact and you spoke very quietly. And I'm like, well, that would have been, we first met 18 years ago?
Yeah.
So 20 years ago now? God, it must have been more like 20. I would have been with my first husband. I'm like, I have learned to LARP as an extrovert.
Yeah.
And it is a LARP. I go in to a con and I am like, today I am playing the role of Rooster the Paladin will be played by Ursula Vernon, or T. Kingfisher, the author / paladin, will be played by Ursula Vernon, and I just go in, and it's easier. It is a thing that requires practice. Being comfortable with the public is a skill. It is, if you don't have it, that doesn't mean you will never have it. You can learn it. I am like uber introvert, and I have learned to be, loud and friendly and whatnot. And also at Lost Con, no way, maybe I don't remember. Probably wasn't Lost Con. Some con I was at recently, I was on a panel, and there was a dude who kept going to a place that was not on the panel, that nobody wanted, and we were all talking about A, and he was using A to segue into B and C, and no one was interested. Like, it was a panel on world building, and he, I think, wanted to talk about Saturday morning cartoon action figure licensing world.
That's a big jump.
It was, and no one in the audience was into it. And after a point, you can tell when people are being polite and when they have glazed over. And the other woman on our panel was not talking at all, and the moderator was too polite. The moderator was like, was there because they were passionate about the subject, not because they
had moderator skills.
The skill you learn of, and there are many really good moderators who are only good moderators if everybody is acting in good faith, essentially. And so eventually, I would just got to a point where I was like, he would pause for a breath, and I would shove my foot in there and be like, we've all been talking a lot. Let's see what this person down at the end here has to say.
Yeah.
And again, I did not come out of the womb knowing how to do that. I had no idea. So it's a thing you can learn. Trust me. You are not doomed to be the introvert you are now forever. You are probably doomed to, in between extroverting, going back to your hotel room and collapsing for an hour. But
yep. But there are enough introvert writers who will understand that.
Oh yeah.
It's not really a question, but I do want to address something somebody said.
It's a comment.
No, it's not a comment.
Shut you down.
No, you hush. No, Space Valkyries, who is a great writer, short story, has several short stories published, including a Best of the Year anthology publication. Says, been having a hard time with conventions at the level I'm at, querying unsuccessfully so far, have some short stories but no novels to show. I feel too much like a baby. That's not a question, but I do feel like we should say something about it, because
yeah, God, I don't know what to say, because, like, as you know, my career did not go proceed by any method that a normal human could find.
Never try to follow in Ursula's footsteps. Never, ever, ever.
Yeah, I could not do it twice. I mean, I did do it twice, but in totally different ways. The thing is that I suppose the question then is, what will you get out of a con? Like, you're not going to the con and going to meet an agent and run towards each other across a field of flowers while orchestral music swells in the background. But they are good for networking, as people say. And they are, I'm so bad at networking. I don't know what it is. I just meet people and think they're neat. And like, I have never figured out how you get anyone a job based on any of that.
Yeah.
And I know people talk about like anthology invites and whatnot, and sure, I'm sure that's a thing, but yes, okay, I did once hang out with someone in the bar at I think it was World Fantasy Con, and they sent me an anthology invite later because we had talked.
Mm-hmm.
But the conversation was something like, Has anyone sent you this invite? The what to the what now?
So
I
you
didn't
were
wanna
already
steal
on the
anybody's
list. You didn't get it from networking.
Well, I think what it was they were an editor at a different branch of the house I was at, and they were like, I want to send you an invite. I don't want to step on the toes of a different editor there. So yeah, it was a dance. But yeah, I forget anyway, oh yes, that's what I was talking about. Figure out what you want from a con. Like, there is no reason you have to go to cons if it isn't something you'll enjoy. You're not going to sell a ton of books by being at the con. It is highly unlikely that your big break will come there. Wait, mine did come at a con, but it was for webcomics. This was back in the days when that could happen. That can't happen now. Don't worry yourself about it.
I think one of the biggest things I've learned about remembering that you're a professional at these cons is, again, it's LARPing, but it's LARPing a confident person. That number one is when someone says, I like your stuff, or I just read your first story, I can't wait to read the next one, or that book you wrote really meant a lot to me. Your answer, and repeat after me, everybody, is thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's not that great. It is not, oh, well, I just put it together. When you deprecate what they have said, you may think you're being self-deprecating, but you are telling them their taste is shit.
Yeah, you're insulting them.
Yes. Don't do that. That is not okay. You by God, be polite, and they are telling the truth. It did mean a lot to them, and even if you think you are the worst writer in creation, you do not insult their taste.
At least two people did not think so, and that was the editor and that reader.
Yes.
Something else to do is just remember that what you have is you have achieved some things. You want to, or you hope to. You have achieved some things. Okay, I think Ursula muted herself. Okay, good. Sorry, family's coming home after being away for a week, so Ursula did warn me that would happen. I did not warn you guys, sorry. But one thing that's good to do is write down what you have accomplished. Don't write it in an emotional way. Write it like a resume. I published this and this and this, here, here, and here. I achieved this. I was nominated for this, whatever. You just write it all down and then look at it. And then remember that whatever you think about yourself, those are facts that happened. And so you can keep going. You can acknowledge that. And if people say, I liked that thing you did, you can say, thank you. That's very nice. And that's hard to do. I know. It's just, I have the problem of sometimes I can't tell when something I write is good, because sometimes I'll write something and I'll love it and nobody else will like it. And then I'll just dash something off and people will be crazy for it. Sorry, trying to get rid of that word. People will be very excited for it. And I don't know how to tell the difference, which is kind of scary. So that's what I just say. I thank people. Networking is important. And one thing I try to do is remember that people love to talk about themselves. So, people will think that you're an interesting person if you ask them questions about themselves. They'll love it. I like to ask editors and agents what exciting things are coming out from their clients or their writers, and they really like talking about that. I like asking other authors what they're working on or what they have coming up. You may feel like you haven't done much, but I mean, think about how many people there who haven't even sold a short story yet, or they have but not to a pro market, or there's always going to be people who are more accomplished than you, but usually you're going to... Hey! I was about to say, you can always find people who are more accomplished than you, but if you look behind you, you can see that you've achieved a lot that a whole bunch of people at that convention would really love to have. So,
Oh, yeah.
Celebrate the wins. Know that they're still there. If you've... I know for Space Valkyries, they've been talking about acquiring agents and stuff. If you have met an agent or spoken with an agent and they turned you down, don't make that a reason to not go talk to them. It's still fine to say hello. And if you do point out, if they remember you or it comes up naturally in conversation that you had already queried them, there's no sour grapes. If you just take it, if it comes up, then you just be like, yeah, well, I'll if I don't find a home for this, I'll query you on the next one or something. Just remember that you are a professional talking to other professionals. And I think that's the biggest hurdle to get over, because you might think you've done some professional things, but you haven't done X, Y, or Z. But no, you are a professional who has achieved some things and you're talking to other professionals. So you don't want to put down what you've achieved. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Ursula, do you want to add anything else?
I'm trying to think of great convention things I have known. It is absolutely worth hanging around with people. I know many of us would, left to our own devices, will go and eat by ourselves in the corner and think no one wants to talk to us. But if you hang out with someone on a panel and they're interesting, get their name, take a photo of their book, talk to them. Hell, ask if they have plans for dinner. Be careful with that one if you're a dude talking to a woman.
Yeah.
But or if you do, lead with, my wife and I don't have any dinner plans. Would you like to join us or something?
Or just, are you going to be at the bar
coffee.
later? We can continue this conversation kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely. You meet a lot of people at cons who are other people in your field, and to be 100% clear and reiterate something that Mur and I have both said, these people are not your competition.
Right.
Even if they are somewhat more successful than you are at this exact moment in time, they are not your competition. Your books are, I think, was it the poet E.E. Cummings said, other poets are not the competition for my poems. It's train rides and flying kites and anything else that people could be doing other than reading poetry.
Stupid
Books
kite flying
way.
assholes. Read some poetry.
A while ago. By which I mean, I think maybe a century. But
so E.E. Cummings would not have been a big internet fan.
Probably not, although he would have liked the fact that you weren't allowed to use punctuation in file names for a long time, I suspect.
True.
And even now, when somebody puts a space in a file name, it causes me emotional anguish.
Yeah. I have learned that that's a generational thing.
Oh yeah.
People of a certain age feel that way. Valerie Valdez in chat says, You are competing with TikTok and YouTube and Netflix. Yes. I'm also competing with them to get writing time, just for me. But that's my own struggle.
And it should be noted also that some cons have very good relationships with social media, and others don't. I was very impressed when I was in Peru at the International Book Festival in Lima. They literally, as a guest, part of my schedule was to meet with a bunch of book talk people.
Oh,
and
cool.
They had an entire morning set aside. They had time slots. They would talk to me. They, would interview me on camera or whatever. And same thing in Warsaw, actually. There was a couple of interviews, and the publishers all just set them up essentially at the same time, and were like, "You want to come talk to T. Kingfisher for your channel? You can record or whatever. This is the time frame," and assigned them slots, and it was amazingly efficient. And I wish more U.S. conventions would do things like that. It was really well done, because I'm used to, if people want to interview me at a thing, they're like, we're trying to find a time between panels and whatnot, and
Or a place.
yeah, and this was easy.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It does mean that my extremely bad Spanish accent is on a lot of Peruvian TikTok now, but
I think that's okay.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say actually that's the last thing. Don't be afraid to embarrass yourself. Things like that, like be a good sport. If people are so excited to meet you, they're there, they love you, they want to talk to you, they want to give you their time. Part of the contract, particularly if you're in a foreign country, part of the contract is that you are willing to be a good-natured spectacle if need be. I think that's actually true traveling anywhere, but
Yeah. Later on this year, I'm guest of honor at, I think it's Demicon, which is in Des Moines. I'm going to be wrong about this, I'm sure. I'm very embarrassed now, suddenly. I'm embarrassed in anticipation of the fact. Did I get it right? Oh, no, it is. It's Demicon 2026 guest of honor in Des Moines at the beginning of May. Thank you. So looking forward to that. If you're around Des Moines, then check it out. I hope it'll be fun. And then I don't think I'm doing anything until Worldcon in LA in August. I have, I'm trying to scale back a couple of the things that I do so I can focus on the things that I do well. And so I'm not going to as many conventions that I would normally have gone to before COVID hit, even though that all of that is kind of ramping back up. But those are the 3 ones I know I'm doing this year. If anything else changes, of course, I'll be putting it on the podcast and on my site. But Ursula, what is your schedule for the year?
Oh, Jesus. I was like, I'm going to leave it much more open, and then they decided to a couple of both Titan and Tor. Well, how do you feel about some tours for this? I'm like,
oh no.
Let's see.
Are your tours coinciding with conventions? Because that's either is that bad or good? I honestly don't know.
I have a miniature book tour at the end of March that I think is on the East Coast. I should be at Flyleaf for one of those days.
Yay!
I'm not sure if it's that one or the other one. Anyway, there. Then I will be at NorwestCon. If you happen to be in New Mexico, I am the William Lectureship speaker in April. Then, if you happen to be in Spain, I'll be at the Celsius Festival in July. And I am the Toastmaster at Worldcon, so
that's right.
And I'm at Mile High Con in October.
I like how you just tried to gloss over that real fast. Ursula will be in Anaheim for the Worldcon and Toastmaster.
And I will be giving away some Hugos.
Yes.
I am the host of the Hugo ceremony, so and I'm trying to figure out whether it would be funny or infuriate people if I started with hi, I'm Ursula Vernon, aka T Kingfisher. That is at T Kingfisher on Blue Sky for when you are outraged by something I do at the ceremony, just to get it out of the way.
We'll talk about
accurate, that. But I shouldn't say so, right?
I don't know. People get so mad, and I've been one of those people, but yeah, I don't know.
My hope is that everyone will be so dazzled as I talk about strange animal facts that they won't go after me with a spork.
They'll be dazzled by the hat.
Also, beg pardon?
They'll be dazzled by the hat.
Yes, I will. Of course, I will have my formal hat.
Yes, I'm sorry. You were talking. Mile High Con is next.
I think NorwestCon, Mile High Con, and then HalCon if you happen to be in Nova Scotia. I don't know why I'm doing a con in Nova Scotia in November, but by God, it should be awesome.
Absolutely. Aurora Borealis,
All my
maybe?
old, what was that?
Will you see Aurora
No,
Borealis?
I think it's just that's when the con is held. But
No, I know. I'm just saying, is that
yeah,
something you can enjoy while you're there? Do you know?
if it's there, I will enjoy it.
Okay.
No, I spent 10 years in Minnesota. I'm fine.
Yes.
Cold. I have the skills.
Yes. Well, it doesn't look like we have any questions in the chat. If you guys are listening to this later and have questions, feel free to email us. Email it to me, mightymur@gmail.com, and we will answer your questions the next time we record. Ursula, is there anything
I will
else
also add, if you're going to a convention as a professional, get one of those collapsible duffel bags things and shove it in your suitcase, because you are going to buy a lot of swag or pick up a lot of swag or stuff or junk, or people will give you books and whatnot, in which case you will need the extra suitcase.
Yes, that's true. Where can we find you online, Ursula, or T. Kingfisher?
Usually I'm on Blue Sky at T. Kingfisher. My website is redwombatstudio.com. It is working again. If you tried there last month and got a domain has expired, some things went to spam filter, but it has been fixed. Kevin is making noises about revamping it, and I'm like, if you touch it, I will cry.
Okay. Alrighty. And you can find me at mightymur@gmail.com, as I already said, and murverse.com. I'm trying to be more active on Instagram, mightymur2, numeral 2, that is. And you can support the podcast, where you'll get early and ad-free episodes of everything I put out. Will be at the patreon.com/mightymur. You can join for free and get the newsletter and occasional goodies, or just, at the bottom level, you'll get everything early, ad-free, and sometimes expanded. But yeah, that's patreon.com/mightymur, and we'll see you hopefully in 2 weeks. Ursula, 2 weeks? Maybe?
2 weeks sounds good to me.
Okay, great. This podcast was produced under Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives License. Music provided by Devo Spice, devospice.com.
Ditch Diggers!
This is a free podcast brought to you by the kindness of our patrons. If you would like to also be kind and a patron, go to patreon.com/mightymur.